Greetings, Toastmasters and guests. My name is Daniel Hall, and I'm a PhD student in economics at Georgia State University. I'm here to talk to you a little bit about the motivation behind my dissertation research. I want my research ideas to be marketable not only to my fellow economists, but also to the public. So therefore, I want to use my 7th speech as an opportunity to show you my motivations and to the public and to those who are not fluent in economics. The question I'm trying to answer is, are we selfish? Well, opinions, there are many opinions to this answer, and of course they vary, depends on who you ask. But the answer to the question, am I selfish, is of course always no, I'm not me. So the only way we can truly answer the question, are we selfish, is by looking at our behavior. If we can look at a model in which we assume everyone is behaving selfishly, if that explains our behavior in the real world very well, then there's a pretty good chance the answer to are we selfish is yes. Well, there exists one such answer given by Francis Fukuyama in his best-selling book titled Trust. In it he quotes, "We can think of free market economics as saying being 80% correct. It has uncovered important truths about the nature of money markets because of its fundamental model of selfish behavior is correct about 80% of the time. But there is a missing 20% of human behavior about which free market economics can only give a poor account." Are we selfish? 20% of our behavior says no. And my interests lie in explaining this 20% behavior. I provide an example of this 20% behavior by a common experimental economics game called the investment game. The investment game was created in 1995 and since then has been tested and used by many experimental economists as well as many social scientists. To demonstrate what the game entails, I'm going to take 2 volunteers. I'm going to take Ann and I'm going to take Gopi and explain how the game works. It's a 2-player game in which Ann and Gopi do not know each other and they do not know their identity of each other. So their decisions are completely anonymous. Secondly, the game is played only once, so there's no way Ann can build a reputation with Gopi or Gopi can build a reputation with Ann. So at the beginning of the game, both Ann and Gopi are given a $10 endowment. Okay? And Ann will be the proposer and Gopi will be the responder. Ann's task is to decide to send a dollar amount of $0 to $10 to an investment account held by Gopi. During that account, the amount has a rate of return of 300%, which I'm sure is quite common at SunTrust.
Yeah.
And after this process, Gopi would make a response. So to give a more physical example, suppose that Ann donated $1 into the investment account that Gopi holds, and during the time the investment matures, it is tripled, in a sense, and is $3. Now Gopi has the decision whether or not to return some, all, or none of the amount. Okay? Now first you might ask yourself, what would a selfish person do? Well, a selfish person cares only about his own earnings, his own payoffs. Well, Gopi would not return a single dollar. He would keep it all for himself and enjoy the happy $3. And knowing this and also being selfish, does not want to reduce her own payoffs, so she will send nothing. So the prediction of this selfish model that's most commonly used in economics is that Ann will send nothing because she knows that Gopi will return nothing. Okay? But do we observe this behavior? Time after time we've run this experiment, we've observed that actually the proposer sends a positive amount and the responder returns a positive amount similar to the amount sent. Also, the more that is sent by the proposer, the more is returned by the responder. Okay? So the selfish behavior model of economics does not explain this behavior very well. So what underlies these motivations? Well, first we have to drop the assumption that Anne and Gopi are purely selfish. They have preferences in each other's payoffs. As soon as we say that we have preferences of each other's payoffs, we say, under what circumstances? Are they conditional, unconditional, or both? Well, the behavior that we observe is explained by conditional and unconditional preferences for each other's payoffs. So Anne, being the proposer, would have conditional and unconditional preferences for Gopi's well-being. It's conditional in the fact that she would send a positive amount because she is expecting Gopi to return some of the money that's tripled on the way back and to basically be trustworthy. So she trusts Gopi by sending a positive amount and expecting Gopi to send some back. So she expects him to be trustworthy. So this is what we call trust, and this is important because it's a binding social glue, and it's important for reducing the cost of economic transactions. Secondly, she has unconditional preferences for Gopi's well-being, and the fact that even if Gopi can return nothing, she may still decide to send a positive amount, because she may get some sense of satisfaction or a warm glow of sending a dollar amount because she knows each dollar amount sent is going to be tripled when it is given to Gopi. Okay? Gopi also has conditional and unconditional preferences regarding Anne's payouts. Gopi returns a positive amount, conditional on the fact that he interprets Anne's sending a positive amount as trust. Okay, so conditional on believing that Anne sent this amount because she trusts Gopi. He feels obliged to be trustworthy. And so conditional on that fact, he sends back her positive amount. Thirdly, also, he has unconditional preferences in that even if the amount sent was not the intention of Anne, suppose someone sent it on her behalf, he would still return a positive amount even though knowing that that was not Anne's intention of trust, because he feels it would be more fair for her to have a little bit of this windfall of this money. Okay? So my goal in my dissertation research is to explain this 20% behavior, and this is just a taste of what it involves. And the goal is to model this behavior using unselfish behavior in a rational, predictable way. Secondly, I want to look at under what circumstances unselfish behavior is in the self-interest and in the social interest. Often, selfishness has a bad moral qualm to it, but in economics, we know that selfishness is the driving force behind capitalism. So it can be a good thing. So these are the questions I'm answering. So this is the 20% answer. Thank you.